All right, bear it up, you dangus. Okay, so the space of time between the second video and this video is as long as it took me to get up and grab a bowl of ice cream. So I got some ice cream now, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So, anyways, in the last video, I showed you how to install a code editor and how to write a little Hello World program. So if you're looking at this and you're going, what the hell is that? What is all that garbage he's got on the screen? What is a code editor? Go back to the second video. Don't be a silly bitch. Go to the second video, watch it, install a code editor, set it up. It can be any one of your choice, or you can use Atom, like what I'm using. Okay, so this video. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about the different parts of an HTML document. So first thing I'm going to do, Control A backspace. I'm just going to erase all that stuff. And let's go ahead and type HTML and hit enter. So HTML and enter. That's going to give you the basic structure of an HTML5 document. Okay, HTML version 5. How do I know it's version 5? It's because of this. This declaration right here is called the doc type declaration, and this exclamation point doc type space HTML tells that has to be, you have to have that declaration in every page. And it comes before the browser, whether that's Chrome, Firefox, whatever, will read that before the HTML tag, so before the actual document. And it will tell the browser what version of HTML to expect. And in this case, it's HTML5. So if we open up our Googly Chromes, let's go to HTML doc type declaration. And let's see if we can find some different ones. So here's W3 Schools, right? W3 Schools, awesome website, great reference. It's why I'm not going to spend a ton of time in this video showing, or a ton of time on the channel showing you HTML, because W3 Schools and other places, they have such a great reference that, I mean, HTML has been around for so long that anything you want to know is out there. So let's see what it does. So like I said, doc type declaration, it must be the very first thing in your HTML document before the HTML tags, okay? It's not an HTML tag. It's there to instruct the web browser about what version of HTML the page is written in. And that matters because in HTML5, you'll have tags that work in HTML5, but they don't work in previous versions, especially what you call semantic HTML. So if you're using if you're using tags like aside or what else? What are some other tags? I'm blanking out here because I'm on video. Article, that sort of thing. You're gonna have a hard time getting the browser to recognize it correctly unless you have that. So here are some different doc type declarations that you can use, and then it just starts going right down the list, I guess. So here's a big list of all the HTML tags that you can have. So that's amazing. But let's get into it. Okay, we'll talk about some common ones. So all your HTML tags that the user sees on the page, they go inside the body tags. Okay, now most of the time, when I say tag, what I mean is like one of these. So just the keyword surrounded by these brackets. That's an open tag, and then a closing tag will have a slash and then that same thing. Now there are a couple of tags that don't have closing tags, like the input tag doesn't have a closing tag. It's just the tag by itself. But in most cases, it'll have an opening and a closing tag. So for there's two basic parts of HTML document. You got the head of the document, which contains a title. So check out this web page, boy. Okay. If I save that, if you type this in here and save this, I'll show you what it does. And then you go and you open, I'm actually going to open this in Chrome. Chrome. Okay, I'm going to localhost. I don't know if you can actually see it, but right up here, check out this web. So that the title of your page, it controls what shows up in the top of the tabs, basically. Okay. So inside the head tags is where you put not necessarily information that the user is going to see, other than the title, of course, but it's more of just metadata about the document. So if you are going to use, like say, a style sheet, you would use a link tag, and then you would link to a CSS file that's either on your server, or you could use what's called a content delivery network and link to someplace on the interwebs that wants to host a CSS file. And I'll show you all that good stuff as well in a later video. So in the body of the document, that is where a lot of the magic happens for the user, like the stuff that the user is going to see. So earlier when I had you type H1 and then, check it out, brah, that kind of shit, that shows up in the body. And so the user actually sees that on the page. Okay, so common tags, and we'll just roll through these real quick because I want to keep these short. So first tag, let's go A. So A tag is a link. So on the href attribute, which by the way, if you'll have the opening tag, and then inside the opening tag is where you put the HTML attributes. So you have href is an attribute of the A tag. And there are tons of different attributes for all the different tags. And so, a lot of times you'll want to look them up if it's a tag you don't use that often, or just look them up just to see what's available to you, what your tools are. Put it in your toolbox. So anyways, href is referring to it's a reference. So it's referring to the page that you want to take the user to. So in my case, it's just going to be super boring. And I'm just going to put in youtube.com, okay? And so right there, and then in between the tags, if I say go to YouTube, if we hit save, and then we open this up in Google Chrome, or Internet Explorer, whatever you want, and we go to localhost, there's our link. And so you can hit there, and then, yep, there it goes. It's on YouTube. Congratulations. You did it. I'm proud of you. And so the next thing that you want to do is notice how it opened with refresh the page. If you want to open a new tab, you can say target equals underscore blank. That's another HTML attribute of the A tag. And basically all that does, if you refresh your page, you open this up, now it opens YouTube in a new tab instead of in the same one. And so that's nice. I'm going to go back to W3 Schools here. And we'll talk about, just go down the list here. ABRA abbreviation, it's not really used that much, or I don't see it a lot. I don't know, it could be used a lot. Let's talk about let's talk about the div tag. So the div tag, you'll see that a lot. And div tags are just divide the page into logical groupings. They have, you put classes and IDs on anything. So it threw in that class there because the class attribute is for CSS, and I'll show you about classes and IDs later. But the main thing to understand is that the div tag divides your document into logical partitions, if you will, and that. So normally you'll see like a div tag and another div tag, and then, whoops, this thing's Haven't used it in a while. Okay, so the div tag, you'll see a div tag, and then there'll be a bunch of content. Another div tag, there'll be a bunch of content, and then it'll be styled in such a way that you position the divs where you want them to go, and then that controls the content on the inside of it. So the way that they used to do this back in the day was with tables. And so with tables have th, they have heads, and then they have t bodies. So the header, table header, is what you might expect it is. Sorry, it's actually not th. It's t head, then th. There we go. So talk about. I'm just going to be if you follow along with me, you'll start to get the gist of this. So this will be TR for a table row, and then TD for table data. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we save that, since it's in a table, it will line everything up so you can see how that works. The next thing is they have ordered lists, and list items goes inside the ordered list. So OL for ordered list, and then LI for list item. And we'll just do the same thing here. So let's do LI, hit enter there on accident. LI number 3, number 4. And if you save that, refresh your page, now you can see it's an ordered list. So it has 1, 2, it labels every item 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth, right? Then you have a UL, that's unordered list. Same principle here, so it's just a list. It's really boring. Really boring list. But if you save it and you look at it, it's got dots in there. See, dots instead of numbers. So that's freaking great. I'm already starting to get a little bored with this. So let's do image tags and we'll quit. So the IMG tag, image, you have a source attribute and then an alt attribute. So the source attribute is, where are you going to get that? Where are you going to get that picture? So let's go to images and let's find a picture of Tim. Let's find a picture of Tim Internet, the guy who invented the internet, Tim Berners-Dashley. Okay, so here's Tim Berners-Dashley, and let's oh, here's a picture of him looking like a wizard. Check that out. So we'll save this image as whatever. We'll go to this. Actually, let's just drag it onto the desktop. There we go. So where you want to save this is going to be inside of W3 root. So we'll go to inetpub W3 root. We'll just paste it in there. And then, so I don't have to type a bunch of nonsense, Tim Berners-Dashley .jpg is what I'm going to name it. You can find whatever picture you want. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Just want to go back here. So here's our web page. I want to pull Atom back up, and now my source attribute, and you can see it now that I copied it in W3 root folder. It's right there. I type in Tim Berners-Lee dot JPEG, and then all this was supposed to be a picture of Tim Internet. That's what Donald Trump calls it. Donald Trump calls him Tim Internet. So we'll open this up. Ah, look at that. Tim Berners-Lee looking all gangster. Great. So there's our image tag. What else can I show you? I think I'm going to wrap it up there. So remember, doc type, very important. You want to have your HTML tags. All the HTML documents have a head where it has the main, is the metadata about the document, and then the body inside the body tags is where all your content goes. And then these are some of the common tags, just some of the common. I mean, there's a bunch more, and the ones if you want to have a great reference, W3 Schools is awesome. It has every HTML tag ever in the world, and it tells you what they all do, and it even has examples. So you can say, try it yourself, try it out. You can go in here and try it out. You can run, you can do whatever you want. So really good site, w3schools.com. Been around since the 90s, and that's a good thing. So. All right, so the next video, I'm going to talk to you real quick about CSS, and then we'll probably jump into some Bootstrap. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. Okay, bye.